Yo Brawlers, this is your man, Glass Chin, and you're watching Glass Chin's Boxing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yo Brawlers, so the Destroyer Andy Ruiz Jr. defeated King Kong Luis Ortiz by 12-round unanimous decision. The judges' scores were 114-111, 114-111, and 113-112. Ruiz knocked Ortiz down 3 times, but the fight really never got going, with Ortiz outboxing Ruiz in large parts and Ruiz taking rounds off and fighting in spots. The crowd was booing this fight in parts, and overall it was a little bit boring to watch, which is surprising for a heavyweight contest that had 3 knockdowns. It was a fairly quiet opening round, pretty much even round, with Ruiz landing a decent shot to Ortiz's body, but Ortiz snapping the head back on Ruiz towards the end of the round. Very heavy knockdown in the second round, with a kind of awkward shot that landed on the top of Ortiz's head, but his legs completely gave way out underneath him. I said in my prediction video that Ortiz's legs were shot. He's a lot heavier on his feet now than he was earlier in his career. After the knockdown, Ruiz went in for the kill and knocked Ortiz down a second time. It was possibly a slip with Ortiz bending down low to dodge one of Ruiz's punches, but it was called a knockdown nonetheless. Ruiz then landed some heavy leather going in for the kill, and the fight looked like it would be over there and then, but Ortiz was able to bite down on his gum shield. He traded with Ruiz, landing some heavy lefts of his own. Ruiz's eyes were already starting to mark up by the end of the second round from the heavy shots that Ortiz was landing. Ortiz showed a great chin and a great heart to survive the second round. Well, Brawlers, it looked like we was in for a great fight that wouldn't last another few rounds. Well, how disappointed we was. Round 3 was a quiet round, with Ortiz outboxing Ruiz with his jab for the most part, with Ruiz fighting a little bit more cautious, only fighting in spots. This was pretty much the pattern of the remainder of the fight, with Ortiz largely outboxing Ruiz and Ruiz having good moments but taking rounds off to preserve his energy. Very reminiscent of the Joseph Parker fight, where Ruiz pretty much handed Parker the WBO title, where he just wasn't busy enough and was only fighting in spots, taking rounds off. I said before this fight that this was Ruiz Jr.'s fight to lose, and to be honest, he won the fight because of the 3 knockdowns. I thought he would stop Ortiz mid to late. I thought Ortiz was a shot fighter after the Martin fight, but he was largely the better fighter for a lot of this fight, and he finished the fight a lot stronger than Ruiz. Without the knockdowns, this fight would have been a draw on 2 of the cards, and Ortiz would have won on the other one. Well, I say it would have been a draw on the 2 cards. Without the knockdowns, you might have given them rounds to Ortiz, so I mean, he could have won without the knockdowns. I had it 7-5 to Ortiz, with Ruiz only winning because of the knockdowns on my own card, so you understand what I'm trying to say. Styles-wise, I always thought that a prime Ortiz would be too good a boxer for Ruiz, and I think this fight showed that. He's now fighting past his prime, so I was surprised that Ortiz finished the fight the fresher guy. I thought that Ruiz would come on strong in the second half of the fight and likely stop Ortiz. But it was Ruiz that was gassed at the end of the 12th round, with Ortiz winning the 12th round quite comfortably and Ruiz holding on a little bit. As I said, overall it was a boring fight, but Ortiz showed that he still has enough left in the tank to compete with the top 15, but at 43 years of age, I think it's time he should call it a day. The one fight I wouldn't mind seeing if he doesn't retire would be Ortiz versus Derek Chisora. They both deserve another payday before hanging up the gloves, and that could be a big fight on DAZN, and it would be nice to see Derek Chisora fight in the US if he's able to get a visa now. Although I know he doesn't like to fight southpaws. So, Brawlers, Ruiz got the win. He should be fighting Deontay Wilder next in a WBC final eliminator should he beat the Nordic Nightmare Robert Helenius. Ortiz looked a little bit stale in this fight and had to switch it up to beat Arreola in his previous fight before that, in a fight that was very tough for him, and his punch resistance looked a little bit weak in that fight. Maybe it was due to coming in a bit lighter for the Arreola fight. Wilder doesn't fight anything like Ortiz or Arreola, so you can't really judge on how their styles will gel too much from these fights, but I've always said that Ruiz is a little bit of a better version of Bermane Stiverne. I think Wilder would knock Ruiz out if Wilder is still at his best. I feel like Ruiz's slow footwork will be his undoing, and he'll be a sitting duck for Wilder, who will close the gap fast from range. Ruiz should still cause Wilder problems with his fast hand speed. He showed in this fight that his hand speed is still there, which will be a problem for Wilder if the fight goes deep. The second and third Fury fights took a lot out of Wilder, so we'll have to find out against Helenius how much he has left in the tank. It's mad to think that in 6 months' time Wilder could be the WBC mandatory challenger. Hopefully he can fight for the trinket, like the Diamond Belt or something like that, and keep him away from the winner of Fury and Usyk, or Joshua if that fight even happens. Because fighting Fury for a 4th time, no one wants to see that. I said the Diamond Belt, but maybe even the interim title. Should Ruiz beat Wilder, he really has earned a title shot at Fury or Usyk, or even Joshua, whoever that champion may be at the time. I'm not completely writing him off against Wilder. Ortiz is a southpaw counterpuncher, Ruiz is a front foot counterpuncher, and their styles didn't gel well at all. That made for a slow, boring fight. Wilder isn't as skilled as Ortiz is, and he makes a lot more mistakes, which Ruiz can capitalise on. So, on paper, the fight is at least a little bit more interesting. There should be fireworks early. I think Ruiz can put it on Wilder on the front foot and make it a tough fight, make it a rough night for him like Tyson Fury did. Wilder may land that big shot early though, and to be honest, it could be lights out for Ruiz. I think if Wilder lands, Ruiz will go. I don't think there's no getting up from that. His punch resistance wasn't there against Arreola, and he was getting hurt a lot by Ortiz, his left hand, and neither of them punch anywhere near as hard as Wilder punches. What do you think, brawlers? Was Ruiz Ortiz a boring fight? Would Ruiz give Wilder a tough night's work, or would Wilder flatten him within a few rounds? Let me know your thoughts, brawlers, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.